Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Cruise 360. Today we are going to talk about how to get maximum mileage out of your motorcycle. First is the fuel consumption has a direct relation with the power produced. The more the power produced, the higher is the fuel consumption. So for better fuel economy, what you need to do is to calculate the amount of power you need for the specific situation. As you can see, there are curves ahead. So 20 kilometers per hour is sufficient speed for me. So I give throttle till I reach 20 kilometers per hour, and post that I don't give any throttle. And I drive at a constant speed of 20 kilometers per hour. So now I see a road which I can travel much faster. So I'll increase my speed to 30 and I'll keep it constant there. Note that I'm not riding in the same gear as I was riding in 20. So I have shifted a gear. So my RPM was around 2000 at 30 kilometers per hour in second gear. So I see an open road again and I'm increasing speed to above 30, but I do not shift gears here. So what happens is the RPM increases to 3000 and 3500 plus. But earlier if you see at 30 kilometers per hour at second gear it was around 2000. So there is a huge difference in the power utilized. So always shift gears at the right RPM, otherwise you will be utilizing power more than necessary. If higher engine speed is problem number 1, then problem number 2 is lower engine speed. That is, I am supposed to ride at first gear here, but I am riding at second gear. So I am literally lugging my engine. This also results in more fuel consumption. So the ideal condition for best fuel economy is to ride at the right engine RPM. So I am going to tell you how to calculate the ideal engine RPM for better fuel economy. First, check your motorcycle's engine specification. So there you can notice it attains a specific bhp at a particular RPM. Example, my bike attains maximum power at 7500 RPM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this RPM range into three. The first 2500 is the low range, 2500 to 5000 is the mid range, and 5000 plus is the top range. So the best fuel economy is obtained when you drive in the first half of the mid range. Check out my RPM here. I regularly shift every gear at 3000 RPM, which is in the mid range. I calculated the speed for this road as 60 kilometers. So what I did is I increased the speed to 60 and I'm constantly riding at the same speed and at the right gear at just 2500 RPM. Now I'm riding in 5th gear, but my bike can do 60 kilometers per hour in first gear itself, but the RPM would be different. It would be around 6500, which is in the top range. So which means more fuel consumption when I ride in the first gear and lesser fuel consumption when I ride at the right gear, which is the 5th one. I'm going to ride differently. I'm going to increase the RPM at every gear shift and I'm going to increase the overall speed as well. As you saw, I utilized more power than necessary. So what happened is I was not able to ride at constant speed. So I was toggling between 60, 70, 80, then back to 70, 60, and I have to slow down again for the junction. And for slowdown, I have to apply more brakes as I was riding at higher speed. So what's suggested is for the best fuel economy, ride in the first half of the mid-range. For better fuel economy, ride in the second half of the mid-range. For performance, you can ride in the top range, but forget about fuel economy. Most of the Indian motorcycles, the first two gears are shorter ones. So what happens is the RPM rises very quickly compared to the other gears. Due to the higher RPM, more fuel will be consumed. So quickly shift to higher gears as soon as possible. Second condition is to calculate the speed that is required for the road condition. Too much speed, too much power, too much fuel. In smaller areas, travel around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. In city, 40 to 60 in third, fourth, or fifth gear. In highways, you can travel up to 4000 to 4500 RPM, which is usually in the mid range of the motorcycle. The third condition is constant speed. Try to ride in a much constant pace as possible. So if you fluctuate the speed, the power fluctuation will also be more. The more the power fluctuation is, the lesser the fuel economy is. The fourth condition is ride smoothly as possible. Do not decrease the speed abruptly. When you apply sudden throttle, more fuel will be rushed into the engine, but it is doubtful that all the fuel will be utilized. So a smoother ride not only ensures better fuel economy, but also an extended life for your motorcycle and less replacement of wearable parts like brake shoes, tires, drive chain. The fifth condition is proper clutch control. Do not over engage your clutch and increase the throttle. So this results in wastage of power. And also do not ride in half clutch. When you ride in half clutch, you suppress the power generated from the engine, but still the engine uses fuel that is required to run the engine at a specific speed. So these are the primary conditions which directly influences the fuel economy of your motorcycle. Now let's go to the secondary conditions. The first is your engine. Replace engine oil periodically so that your engine runs smoother and much efficient. Second thing is the air filter. Do not run your bike on a clogged air filter. Replace it in every service if possible. The third condition is clean and lube your drive chain whenever required. Usually it is 1000 kilometers in dry season, but in wet and rainy season it is usually much lesser. So more clean and lubed your chain is, much lesser is the friction and much lesser is the power loss. Next is tire pressure. Always refill the tire pressure up to the recommended levels by the manufacturer. Don't keep it too low or too high. Too low, the engine has to push much harder than necessary, and too high, which increases the weight of the bike. The final one are the accessories, like the tire size, which most of the people are increasing, that will have a direct effect on your fuel economy. Then the touring accessories. I see a lot of bikes riding in the city with a full touring kit. So this increases the weight of the bike considerably, and definitely what happens is the fuel economy of your bike will get badly affected. So add accessories only those are required. Also do service your bike with a proper mechanic and check movable parts like wheel bearings, wheel alignment periodically. So viewers, these are the practices that I follow to get the best mileage out of my motorcycle. So in my Interceptor, I'm getting around 25 kilometers per liter, which is the company quoted one. I previously rode a classic 350 for which I got 45 kilometers per liter. And for my Unicorn, I used to get around 55. In our country, fuel is not cheap. So even the slightest save will lead to a better future. Do subscribe my channel for exclusive 360-degree videos where you can adjust the view of your choice and motorcycle reviews, motorcycle tips and tricks. Thank you.